There's nothing like a Disneyland Park day, but when you arrive bright and early, do you fuel up with a hearty breakfast or do you just grab something on the go? Today, we are going to stop off at a table service restaurant that I love having breakfast at right here on Main Street, USA. It's time for a Disneyland Dining Review. What's going on, friends? Wait for the Kingdom Report back with you once again, covering all the latest eats, treats, and dining delights here at the happiest place on Earth. Today, focused on Carnation Cafe. It is breakfast time, my friends. We are ready to dine on some classic American comfort food, including some of Walt's favorite dishes here at this Main Street USA institution. That's right, it's a legendary locale. Relax, they say, under a candy-striped umbrella, and of course watch the world pass by, or you can simply unwind inside this Victorian-style dining room as waiters in vintage dress bustle on past, and the Carnation Cafe takes you on a trip to the turn of the century with a nostalgic menu of delicious delights for breakfast or lunch. Now, we do need to remind everybody they are still in a phased reopening process, so the menu is quite limited at this time. However, it is a terrific option for a quick breakfast before your Disneyland Park day. After checking in for my reservation via the Disneyland app, I was greeted here at the podium and sat right away. I was sat indoors this time. The space was originally the Blue Ribbon Bakery many years ago, but was gutted for the sake of expanding Carnation Cafe from a patio-only dining location to an indoor-outdoor location. And of course, the bakery moved into the Jolly Holiday venue down at the other end of Main Street. As soon as I was sat, I went ahead and scanned the QR code for the menu. The menu is rather limited, as I had mentioned, and therefore there's only a few options for breakfast, but I wanted to try out a couple of them just to give you perspective on what it is you can grab while at Carnation Cafe. First up on the list today is the plant-based overnight oats. For only $7, you get this, and I'll call it gigantic glass dish, completely filled with overnight oats, super chilled all the way to the top with an abundance of cinnamon spiced apples, and yes, you see it right there, all kinds of chopped up bananas on top. This was something that was a delight to mix together. It was a perfectly dense overnight oats while also being light enough to not feel completely bogged down by. So much of what they offer on this limited menu is rather heavy breakfast food that will leave you feeling a bit sluggish after you eat it, if you decide to eat all of it, that is. And this ended up being something that was not only refreshing, but very sweet, and left me feeling like potentially I could just order this alone and be perfectly fine. And for $7, you cannot beat the price tag. Highly recommend that if you are somebody who likes your overnight oats, this is something you need to go with at the Carnation Cafe during your next visit. Moving along from the overnight oats, I decided it was time to grab myself a main entree that was hot and piping full of deliciousness. And what did I go with? Well, the breakfast skillet, of course. This is the most expensive thing on the menu, and that's not saying much for a Disney restaurant, being only $16. In fact, everything at Carnation Cafe for a table service restaurant, it is in fact one of the most reasonable restaurants in the entirety of the Disneyland Resort. This, my friends, is a Mickey-shaped 3-cheese egg bites, breakfast potatoes, chopped applewood smoked bacon, sliced smoked sausage, and shredded cheese with a fresh tomato garnish. For those of you looking for a dish that will make you full in the morning and keep you that way all the way until maybe even early dinner, well, the breakfast skillet would be the item you would want to go with. Not only do you get all of your starches with the breakfast potatoes, but you also get some really great protein when it comes to the chopped applewood smoked bacon and the sliced smoked sausage, all wrapped up in that shredded cheese. That, my friends, even comes off a bit spicy, which is a wonderful little kick given to the dish. And the sausage also feels a little kielbasa-like in nature, which I'm a kielbasa fiend, so that was a really nice surprise. And having that ooey-gooey cheese wrapped around all of the potatoes and protein really did stand out to me as something that was hearty and delicious the whole way through. I mean, a true comfort food type skillet. And then when you do go for the Mickey-shaped 3-cheese egg bites, These are like little mini omelets. That's the best way I can describe these. They look adorable, right? With the Mickey ears. Well, these are like tiny little Mickey omelets, and they are fantastic. So dense and so worth dipping some extra ketchup on for the sake of going all out with this breakfast skillet. Finished up my skillet, and in a matter of no time, the bill had arrived, seeing today's damage at $29.09 before tip, $30 for the overnight oats, the skillet, and coffee. Now, as a reminder, the overnight oats, that was a meal in and of itself. That is considered an entree. It was certainly big enough and absolutely something that I have gone back to the Carnation Cafe for as a light way to start the day, and it still fills me up. Totally recommend checking out the plant-based overnight oats if you get an opportunity, and if you're looking for something way more and you want some food to stick to your ribs, definitely go with that breakfast skillet for $16. I came back a few weeks later to try my hand at another dish, and that is the breakfast sandwich for $13. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Did this plate come with any fruit? Yes, that is what it showed up with. It's very limited in scope when it comes to what fruit was going to be on the plate, I guess. But this is a 3-cheese egg, applewood smoked bacon, and by the way, this is the thickest, best cut bacon I have tasted at the Disneyland Resort so far. You know, I am a snob when it comes to the bacon that they use across the resort, because sometimes it's paper thin and terrible, and other times you get the good stuff like you get right here in this breakfast sandwich. So applewood smoked bacon and cheddar on brioche served with breakfast potatoes. This sandwich was fantastic. Keep in mind it doesn't come with any sort of condiments on it, just the egg, the cheese egg. So you do have to add some ketchup, some Tabasco, whatever you'd like to throw onto your sandwich. And the potatoes were perfectly fine. They were crispy, they were hot, they were good. I would say for $13, you are basically bang for what you get here. There's nothing really spectacular outside of how great the bacon is, and it's essentially a Mickey-shaped 3-cheese egg bite just plopped between a brioche bun. $25.86 was the grand total before tip that the breakfast sandwich and the never-empty cup of coffee brought me to. I do appreciate that never-ending cup of coffee, and they often will send you back out the door as you depart with a to-go cup of coffee. It's a very hospitable move, very nice touch from the hospitable folks here on Main Street, USA. And as a reminder for kids, you are able to choose and sort of create your own entrees, everything from silver dollar pancakes to Mickey-shaped waffles, Mickey-shaped scrambled eggs as well. And if you're looking for some additions to the hot beverage lineup, just beyond the freshly brewed Joffrey's coffee, you also have the Twinnings of London hot tea, the cinnamon spiced hot cocoa, and of course your regular hot cocoa selections on top of that. And keep in mind that when it comes to breakfast, I paid just under $30 for the overnight oats, the skillet, and a never-ending cup of coffee. On top of that, you had the $25, $26 version of the breakfast sandwich and coffee, so all things of value worth balancing out, worth figuring out prior to making your reservation here at Carnation Cafe. We're so happy that it's back open, and no doubt the menu will continue to expand well into 2022. If you're somebody that has had breakfast at Carnation Cafe or are interested in having breakfast there anytime soon, please let us know. As always, we love hearing your perspective. For the Kingdom Report, I'm Wade Heath. We'll see you next time for another installment of the Eat Disneyland Dining Review.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.